Hello teacher, my group is made up of Leandro, Santiago, Leonardo, Daniela and me. We are to talk about the Greek language from the Indo-European to modern Greek. Greek is a language of the Indo-European language family, within the language that comes from this common trunk, with a community of origin that is notorious both in syntactic and morphological structure and in an essential part of the lexicon. Greek is the Indo-European language still in use that we have attested in reading since the earliest dates, and the one has left a deeper mark on the European cultural tradition. The Indo-European language attested in reading from earliest is Hittite, since the table reading in a cuneiform syllable. From the Hittite archives in Hattusas are from the 16th to 14th centuries before Christ, but that language alone, with civilization, disappeared 30 years ago. There are 4 stages. These are Mycenaean stage, Archaic and Classical stage, Hellenistic stage, Byzantine stage, Modern stage. First one is Mycenaean stage, between the 15th and 17th centuries, Classical stage, Hellenistic stage, Byzantine stage, Modern stage. First one is Mycenaean stage, between the 15th and 17th centuries. We know the Greek language thanks to the reading testimonies. The reading system with each appears. Reading is not yet alphabetical but syllabic. Archaic state and classical state from the 9th, 8th century before Christ. The Greeks adopted from the Phoenicians the alphabet-like form of reading that already used Homer in his poems. In classical times, however, the Greek language was fragmented into various dialects. Hellenistic stage. From the death of Alexander the Greek, 333, the Greek language, thanks to the extension reached by Alexander's conquest, split as a language of culture throughout wide areas of Asia. Byzantine stage, the Greek cultural legacy was kept alive in eastern part of the Roman Empire, where Greek was still practically the official language. Modern stage, currently, is still spoken in Greek. In Greece, although with abundant change and split between culture currents less and less influential.
Hi guys, everybody, how are you? My name is Leonardo and I'm going to talk about Athens' political organization. In most of the cities of ancient Greece occurred from the century 7th before Christ important political reforms. Solon and Cleisthenes in Athens and Lycurgus in Sparta would lay the foundations for the development of the institution of these polis. And although the distribution of the different political organs of a classical polis doesn't exactly correspond on the modern separation of political powers, we can extract a basic scheme of them to facilitate their study. The first is legislative power, popular assembly. It was the highest governing body. It could be made up of all free citizens over 20 years old, coming from demos of municipalities of Attica. Council, Bulle. It was an advisory assembly that prepared bills submitted to the popular assembly, ensured the execution of the laws, and received accounts from the outgoing magistrates. Britannia, made up of 50 district councillors who were appointed puritans. Executive branch, the magistrates. First, archons, collect made up of 9 magistrates known as tesmoritai. Those who establish the laws and are in charge of reviewing them, plus a secretary. The second are strategists. They were chairs of leading the army and the fleet. They were appointed by the assembly and were annual but are eligible positions. Now, power of attorney. First one, Hilia. People's Court, made up of 5,000 members and 1,000 reserve. It represented the popular assembly. The second one is Aeropagus. The origin in this court went back to the aristocratic. That is why its power was reduced with the advance of democracy. In classical times, it practically only deals with judging the crimes of voluntary homicide. Then, the Epides. It was made up of a college of 51 citizens who tried involuntary homicides.
I will talk about the extension and the geographical location of the dialects, and then I will talk about the cultural impact. To begin with the Ionian, this dialect was spoken and located on central Greece, on the coast of Anatolia, on Asia Minor, on Cycladic Island, and on the Euboea Island. Apparently, this dialect spread throughout Greece through Aegean during the time of the Dorian inventions around the 11th century before Christ. Then the Ionian dialect reached the west, the south of Italy, and in the Hispania with the Phocaea colonization. Then the Dorian. This dialect was located on the western Greece and in most of the Peloponnese. Also, it was widespread throughout the islands colonized by Dorians as Crete, Rhodes, Kos, and Terras, and also in several places of the south of Italy and Sicily. Now, the Archaic. This dialect was spoken and located, as his name says, in the Archaic area on the Peloponnese. It was widespread to Cyprus by Archaic colonists after the Arcadian zone was free from the invading war of Dorian. Finally, the Aeolian. This dialect had a short hegemony during the 4th century before Christ, especially on Thebes, but it was exactly widespread on Thessaly, Boeotia, the Lesbos Island, and on the Minorasic coastal zone. It was all about the extension and the geographical location of these four dialects. We saw how they are organized in several places around the ancient Greece. Now, I would like to talk about the cultural impact related to the literature. I would like to talk about this because we know that there are some important works who has marked the history of the world. So we can say that the Greek literature starts with the work called Homer. From this work, there are two important works who were created. They were the Iliad and the Odyssey, who were written in Ionian dialect. And now the work called Homer was written in three dialects. They are the Ionian dialect, Aeolian, and Archaeans. Then it appears the monodic lyrics were written by Sappho and Aliceo. In this work were written in Aeolian dialect. After this, it appears the choral lyrics by Pindar of Thebes, who were written in Dorian dialect. Thanks to this, we can see how the Greek literature is fragmented in several dialects from early times.
In the world, there are about 12 to 15 million people speak the Greek language, of which 11 million are native from Greece, and the rest are distributed in Cyprus and small communities of south of Italy, Albania, and Germany, in which it is an unofficial language. Methods of face-to-face diffusion of Greek language are few. In Greece proper, there is the Hellenic Culture Center taught by native in a native environment. In the United States, the most notable is the Hellenic American Academy in Illinois. In Mexico, it's taught at the Center for Foreign Language Studies and the Faculty of Higher Studies in Acatán campus. In Colombia, courses are given in universities such as Universidad de los Andes, Universidad del Rosario, and the Caro y Cuervo Institute. In Medellín, courses are given in the Colombian Polytechnic. In the rest of South America, they are given in Universidad Nacional del Sur in Argentina, at the Facultad de Teología Pontificia Civil in Peru, and the Fundación María Sacos in Uruguay. There are many tutors and classes online.
Hello everybody, today I'm going to talk about Hellenic languages and I'm going to explain the commercial impact. The Greek, that is often studied as a model of the language of antiquity, is the one that corresponds of the Attic dialect, since literally it came to surpass all the other dialects, mainly in the 5th century, and it also known as the century of miracles. Well, the Attic was characterized by its opening. It had a certain musical quality due to the contraction of the vowels and balanced use of the diphthongs and accents. For this reason, and by the commercial and cultural importance of Athens, especially from Hellenism, emerged the dialect that is named Koine for Greek speakers. Koine means common language. Finally, Koine also spread over much of the western shores of the Mediterranean Sea, today corresponding to the states of Italy, France, and Spain. On the other hand, the Greek has been a very powerful cultural language in many places, so that's the reason why we can say that it has had an important commercial impact around all the world. Okay, therefore, I'm going to talk about example of the Hellenic languages. So I found the Iliad is an epic poem by the ancient Greek poet Homer, which recounts some of the significant events of the final weeks of the Trojan War and the Greek siege. Also, it is important to say that the poem consists of 24 scrolls containing 15,693 lines, and the entire poem has a formal rhythm. For the end, another example is the Odyssey. Is one of two major ancient Greek epic poems by Homer, and it also like another part of the Iliad, and it refers always to the Greek hero Odysseus. Just a reminder, at the bottom of the work assignment, you can find the pictures of the parts of each poems, the Iliad and the Odyssey. Thank you so much.